I'm meant to strive. Flat earth beneath my feet, knowing I'm here to meet. Ocean's edge, it calls my name. Purpose in this life's game. Horizons line so clear, God's love brings me near. Flat earth made by him, my journey long yet thin. Purpose found in every day, guided by his gentle sway. Mountains tallly standing.
Yo, Flurs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. We are joined by Michael and PJ. How you guys doing?
Yo,
I didn't realize it was running that. It was that late. Wow, I thought I had like 10 minutes. Good to see you.
I told Michael you always are flashingly late.
Yeah, it's flashing, but even to my own streams.
And Roger in the house as well. What's up?
oh, not much. Just looking at a molten iron core. It was fun.
Molten iron core, yeah. Yeah. Like they've been 8 miles down at the most, and they can tell we've got a molten iron core. Of course.
And Janusz now. Hello.
Hey, Janusz.
Hey, Janusz.
Good to see you, man.
Let's open that window.
See that video quickly.
I was just trying
But it's
to.
good to see you guys.
Since
Hope
yesterday,
you
I
guys
was
been
trying to
having a
educate one
good
guy
day.
about the Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, Judaism, but he's Christian Zionist. So okay, so I can just stop speaking with him.
So, science, guys.
Science.
Or scientism.
Why is it so hard for Globers not to get what science is?
Yeah.
Very easy answer. Because if they would know what the science is, they would not believe in the globe. Very simple. But because they do not know what science is, because they believe in scientism, that's why they are Globers.
Yay, Flatzoid's on. Is that a spelling mistake, or are you doing that intentionally, Victoria?
I've never Victoria probably a
Because it says Flatzoid, but I think she's just spelled it wrongly. Because I've never seen Victoria calling you Flatzoid before.
no. Victoria is awesome, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just a spelling mistake, I think.
Don't worry.
But it's good to have you guys.
I had Sean Hawkins come over to my channel just a while back and say I was in a cult over and over again.
Well,
You were there when Brenda tried to get into my stream earlier. I was like, I think we should talk. Oh, no, we should not talk at all. To use an Eleanor D. Should.
I've decided to
DJ,
talk.
have you got a gain control on that mic?
No, not on this one, no.
Gain is very high.
Is it
There you
okay?
are.
Yeah.
Blasting, it's like overpowering. You're not loud, but it sounds like you.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got mic in your mouth.
Yeah.
Really?
It
Wow.
sounds like he's in the room with me.
Let me check it.
So yeah, everybody, please hit the likes, share the show. I think we're about to start. I'm going to give some warning. This may trigger some people.
I've seen this, I think. Is it what?
Really?
I think QE covered it other week.
Challenge for
He's
Flatzoid Pros.
ex-pilot.
Oh, it's new.
No, this is a new video from him, where he's
Oh,
supposedly
is it?
challenging us.
Huh.
And
But he was speaking about Flat Earth before, this guy.
yeah, but
Oh.
what I want to point out is this guy is so wrong when it comes to science. It's not funny. Everything he literally, this whole video is made about, seems that he's butthurt that his globe is false. And now he's trying to, as they always do, reverse the burden onto us to try and prove things that they failed to prove. You know what I mean? So it's like they're trying to make their problem ours. And while he's doing this, he's keep calling the thing an experiment.
But look,
Fairness.
it's very hard to disprove something. Like he's pointing to us to disprove Earth. Yeah, it's a globe. It's very hard to disprove something which does not exist. It's logical fallacy. You can't really disprove globe because it doesn't exist. That's as simple as that. You can
I
provide
agree.
evidence that it's not the globe. It looks like a flat, so ergo it's not a globe. But you can't really disprove Earth because Earth because it doesn't exist. Simple as that.
Yeah. You can't disprove something that didn't exist.
Exactly. Logical fallacy. That's it. Simple.
Yep.
Very simple.
But let's see what it says.
Well, hi everyone, this is Bob the Science Guy, and I wanted to make a quick video and release it tonight after I saw a video on Flatzoid's channel. His guest was Will Duffy, and of course they were doing their usual abusive selves, but there was...
I just want to ask a question. What abuse of cells were we doing to Duffy?
No idea.
You have to set up narrative. You have to set up the goal, and create the narration. That's what he's doing with this first phrase.
See, when Bob starts his videos, he starts off with muddying waters and, making you out that you're bad. And, instead of just getting down to argumentation, he wants to pull faults at person.
Yeah, he just did a Duffy again, by the way. What's up, Anthony?
Can I say he's got a nickname over in FED? It's the logical fallacy guy. That's Bob.
Fallacy guy's name is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so easy to recognize who they are. Just first few sentences, and you know what they're going to say, which way they will go, and they just expose themselves straight away. It's just like I don't get it. How they can be such stupid people on Earth? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that live stream I did in Liverpool with the physics girl and the guy that she was with?
Oh yeah.
She claimed that she had she'd just done a master's degree on quantum mechanics, I think she said it was, and she was arguing with me, real world, that the dependent variable was the presumed cause, the dependent variable, the DV, and I was like, no, the IV is the presumed cause. You can't calculate
What?
it. She was arguing it black and white with me that it was the DV that was the presumed cause. Honest to God, I was gobsmacked when she was telling me this. I said, look, how can you have a master's degree in quantum physics or whatever it was that she had and not know what the IV is in a scientific experiment? And she pulled the, well, I think I know more than you because I've got it. And I was like, yeah, but you don't know what the dependent variable is.
The thing is, you'll fail primary school science if you have to say the independent, the DV causes anything.
Yeah, and that's what she was saying. She was saying that she's got a master's degree in, I think she said quantum science or quantum physics or something like that. So it was science related. But she was telling me the IV, the independent variable, or she was telling me that the dependent variable was the presumed cause. And I'm like, you idiot, it isn't. She didn't like being told she was wrong.
Look, it doesn't matter if someone has Master of Science or not. I have double Master of Science. And to be honest, I met so many stupid people with Master of Science, even doctors. It doesn't matter if you have title or not. As common sense prevails.
Dr. John D, he said to me, he said, like, I've got a PhD in photospectrometry. He said, I know a lot about light. He said, do I know everything about it? No. He said, but do I now reconsider everything I was taught about light based on this topic? Yes. He said, and I've got a PhD in it. And I was like, if there's a guy with a PhD in photospectrometry admitting that he's now reconsidering everything he's ever learned about light, that tells me that they don't really know what light is.
And I agree. I mean, we've done a few streams on it as well, based on John D's findings and stuff. And it is true what John D said, though. It's just based on correlations.
Yeah.
Because now they're begging the question. Because now they're begging the question on how water, the waves in water move, or a liquid, and they're correlating it with light. Now they've automatically deduced, logically, you could say, that light behaves this way as well.
Look, for example, my mother, a long time ago, back in the days, she told me that when she was nurse, they taught her in a school that there are bacteria, fungus, and they were speaking a lot about the bacteria and fungus, but they mentioned as well bacteria, fungus, and viruses. That's it. That was it. And since that time, everyone believes that the viruses do exist. I challenge you to provide any documentation which provides evidence for existing viruses, that the viruses exist. I challenge any one of you. If you provide me this document, I will give you $10,000. Say the way.
All right.
Hey, Werner Warhoff, thank you for being a member for 6 months. He says, hi, how's it, guys? Good to see you, Werner. Glad you could make it, man. By the way, guys, hit the likes, share the show, let everybody know we are live. But yeah, I think we can all agree that the whole globe pseudoscience cult, I'm going to call it a cult, is just projecting onto everybody else that calls pseudoscience out for what it is.
It's like when you step it on a snake, it's going to squirm and try to bite you.
It's called mass formation.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
There was one gentleman on the panel that said something that intrigued me. It was the one in the middle, the older gentleman wearing the gray sweatshirt. And he and Duffy were having a conversation about things that would prove the globe to him. And he had a little challenge for Duffy. He said something about wanting to demonstrate a reproducible Earth convexity matching the radius of the Earth. And he seemed a little bit off about how he wanted to go about proving that. So let's go ahead and click.
Yeah, I got to point out. He's talking about Sov, obviously. And yes, Bob the Science Guy knows who Sov is. So the fact he's trying to act like he doesn't know who he is, that's already showing deception, is it not?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, at least we call Bob by his name, Bob the Fallacy Guy, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we don't act like we don't know who Bob is. He knows who Sov is. Now he's acting like he doesn't know who he is.
It's like what Jaren did with that, whoever it was Rusted Soul, wasn't it? And he called her Rusted Girl. He knows exactly who she is.
Yeah. Well, Bob knows who I am from Facebook. He hates me with a passion. And all I do is go in and refute his arguments he put on Facebook pages. He knows who we all are. He's pretending like he doesn't know us. He's been embarrassed by FED so many times it isn't funny. He doesn't know anything about science to begin with. He pretends like he knows what science is. He's reading the script, it seems like to me.
Yeah, none of them know what science is, but they all
and I also got to point out he did a Duffy again. He lied and misrepresented what Sov actually said. Sov didn't say what he just said. Repeatable, blah, 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 whatever. Sov was making a very big point, just like we did. Can you show us Earth curve measurement? Not calculation, measurement that is repeatable.
That's going to be impossible, isn't it?
So yeah, it's quite sad. Yeah. But yeah, we haven't seen any Earth curve measurements before. We haven't seen gas pressure without containment. We haven't seen any observation of Earth moving, which Duffy says he's done and going to present to us. So we're definitely waiting for that. Which we're still waiting.
Clear it up. So this is a direct challenge to you, Flatzoid, and your panel, and especially that gentleman in the middle. Here's what I would like you to do. I want you to design a specific observation that will convince you that the Earth is a globe or a flat surface, depending.
Okay, I want to ask something. Who the hell is he to tell us to design an observation?
I want to ask, right?
Here's my response to your
Here's
my response to your request. How's about suck my knob?
How do we know one in middle is if Bob doesn't show us who the one in middle is?
Yeah,
that's funny. Well, so isn't it the burden on them to start with to prove the convexity they're talking about?
That's exactly that, Roger. That's what I'm saying. So he knows he can't provide what was asked for.
Yep.
So now he wants to reverse the burden onto us to make
and
it
this
our
is why
problem.
Bob is known as Bob the Fallacy Guy, because this is a burden of proof reversal fallacy, Bob.
Yeah.
Bobby.
I'm sorry, do we claim this Earth curve?
No, we don't.
Do we claim there's Earth curve measurements?
No. Nope.
Yes.
So why do we have to do anything to provide anything for it? It's his burden. He's the one claiming it, so he's the one has to provide it.
Yep.
We can provide him with observations
guy.
that prove the exact opposite. Easily
Oh
done.
yeah.
All surveying, all observations in
The
reality.
observations that have been done, Bob, that the reality is we don't need to prove anything. We don't even need to post videos on it anymore. There's that much of it. I mean, probably the best person to that's collated them all together is Taboo Conspiracy. And we all know that you hate him, but we also know that you hate him because he debunks your globe. So hating Taboo Conspiracy is not really acceptable. However, if you want to debunk the evidence he presents and go and repeat his observation and see do you get different results, be my guest.
I see what's going on here. They're basically trying to stymie us by saying we're not doing scientific experiments, by reversing the burden. And most people won't see that because most people don't really understand the scientific method to begin with, correct? They're looking at like how well spoken and how what they were taught is going to have to be true in their own mind to keep their own paradigm going. That's what they're going for. They're pushing a narrative, not science. They're not pushing any experiments or anything at all. They're looking for something that'll convince us or something to make a fool out of us in the process. It's not going to happen, Mr. Bob. I hate to tell you that.
I did send Bob the email link so he can come in and have a discussion if he wants to, because he was crying to me. I'm blocked. Hey, you don't want to take me on my challenge. You just blocked me. You're running away, kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, here's the link. Come in. Because
why are we always insulted with these crappy challenges?
Yeah, it's not even a challenge. All I emailed him was back, I don't have a challenge. There's no challenge. But yeah,
Any better?
I swear these guys are getting dumber by the day.
Any better?
Yeah.
Oh, you're better. Yeah, beautiful.
All right.
You're better. Just softer.
I just had to go to the control panel, and it didn't seem like there was anything wrong, so I just went through the motions of disabling everything again and that, but it was all disabled anyway. I don't know. It's just this laptop, I think.
So basically, I want to lay it down something right quick. Didn't Saab's challenge just basically cover what celestial navigation is? You get 3 different points on the Earth and show me convexity. Basically, that was it.
Yes, he did.
That was the challenge. Yeah. Bob, is in your court. You know you don't need a horizon to use a sextant, too. So
While he literally shows a sextant using a horizon.
Yeah, I know.
It literally states, and you point it at horizon.
But you don't need it. You don't need the horizon. You just point at it.
And the fact that a sextant works of angles of succession off a horizontal plane says it all, Bob.
Yeah. You think he's going to show up?
Depending
Nah, don't think so.
on the results of the observation. Now, here are the criteria for the observation.
First of all, he demands we must do an observation. Now he wants to give us criteria for an observation as well.
All right. Okay.
Let's just find out what is an observation, guys.
Something you look at.
You just look at it and you observe that it's happened, like the sunrise thing I did on holiday. The globe made a claim. I said, okay, I observe it doesn't fit what your claim is. That's it. That's an observation.
To be fair, though, Flatzoid, they didn't do an observation, did they? They did something else that wasn't an observation, because if they did an observation, the sun wouldn't be doing what they claim it were doing. So they must have been doing something else.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff. But yeah, they never get past observation. They don't even know what observation is, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, with regards to the fake experiment,
Look,
they got their observation before they even went and made their observation.
Mm-hmm.
because the lack of understanding of basic words and basic phrases, and they have been brainwashed in a certain way. So you can't have a good house built without the good fundamentals. It will fall off. So they don't have fundamentals, and when they start, and just from there, it's just slippery slope. That's what it is. But they don't get it. They don't, and they can't get it. If you try to explain to them, they're getting mad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they conflate science with astronomy. And astronomy is based on observations, correct? So basically what they're doing is they're going to make observations and they go, oh, we predict that. They add that into that try to add it into the scientific realm. That's not a prediction at all. You have to have a cause and effect relationship. You got to be able to
Got to
vary.
manipulate the cause.
Yeah.
In astronomy, there's only observation. There's no cause manipulation. David Banner, thank you very much for your £2, man. Really appreciate it. He says, good stuff, guys. Keep up the good work. You too, bro. Really appreciate it. And if you guys haven't already, do subscribe to David Banner. He has some awesome streams in the day. Really chill back, laid back stuff. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, it's not a long video, and we're able to talk about a lot just based on 1 minute of saying something. Bob, what does that tell you? And Taking Back Eden, Effie, thank you very much for your $2. 2 Canadians says, thank you to all on the panel. Thank you, Flats. And thank you, Taking Back Eden. I appreciate your support.
Bless you, man.
Eden.
Bless you,
Big
dude.
shout out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I like that guy. He's laid back too. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, it has to be something that any of us can do for a reasonable price. And I will say less than $100 US is a reasonable price to conduct an experiment like this.
What experiment?
Yeah, is a reasonable price to conduct. Well, give me the $100 then.
I'm sorry. I thought he said set up an observation, correct?
Yeah.
Now he's talking about experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Does an experiment require a hypothesis?
It does.
Yep.
And does that hypothesis require an IV and DV?
It certainly does. Both of them.
Which one do you vary there? I want to know which is it IV or the DV? I don't remember. I can't.
Scott, you know how like gravity is one of the most overused words that these idiots use? Experiment's got to be a close second to it, right?
Of course.
Oh yeah. And
But
if
I mean-
Bob wants some observations, I'll send him to Pablo's or Bo. He's got tons of them, man.
Well, let me just quickly measure my children's Bible with this ruler. Am I doing science?
No.
Okay, I've measured the Bible. It is 19.5 centimeters. See, measured. I observed the Bible was measured at 19.5 centimeters. Where's the science, Bob?
Jack or Bob. Ain't no science in that. Just you know what though? They don't even do the measurement bit. They just do the calculation, and then they call that science. So they don't even get to the measurement bit.
Yeah.
And by the way, I can take that and do calculations based on it and put in corrections for a spheroidal model and claim that this Bible, is curved. Does it actually make it curved?
Yeah.
Refracted curvature curved his kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love the unicorns, man. They were fun. Bunk and debunk.
Yeah, he used the Haversine formula because he was measuring his ceiling in his kitchen and he worked out a radius for his kitchen floor.
Yeah.
Exactly
It's
that.
flat. Yeah. It's really a flat floor. I want to ask Bob a question if he's listening. Where did you get your pre-assumed radius for the Earth to begin with? If you could break that down for me, let me know. All right. Tell me how they came about that.
Oh, it's just known now. Everybody knows that 39.59. It's just accepted now.
Well, they just knew. Haven't you heard of Eratosthenes? I mean, a guy that has no documentation ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Didn't Eratosthenes get swallowed by a whale?
No, Come on.
I'm sure he got swallowed by a whale.
Because you know what's weird about Eratosthenes? He supposedly all his work burnt down in Alexandria. 300 years later, people knew about what his work was.
Strange.
In a time that there was no communication about things. I mean, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, we don't know that they had photocopies back in the day, Flatzoid, and they had copies of it. That's all it is.
If you get a picture of Eratosthenes up, he's got an head like Bob.
Do you know what?
Hey, Jeff in the house. What's up?
How's it going?
Hey, Mr. Cockle.
What we should do is each time they mention one of these fictional characters like Socrates or Plato or whoever, even if they did exist, we should still act as though that they're one of the biblical characters and basically transfer back to them that which they project onto us. Because they always say, oh, there's no evidence that the Bible's just a man-made, man-written book, and there's no evidence. They're just stories, and then they don't credit anybody as ever existing. They accept that the characters within the story, but not that the characters actually existed. So,
and you know what's sad?
Socrates or Aristotle, one of them had an ark, the other one got swallowed by a fish, the other one came down a mountain with 10 commandments, and just apply that principle against them. It really works well against them because they hate it.
But you see what's sad about that? But the sad about that, with the people in the Bible, there is many manuscripts that they did exist. There's archaeological evidence for it. There's even hostile witnesses for all these people. People like Aristophanes and nonsense, there's nothing. It's just this guy said so.
I think the fact that we're calling them, using their own weapon against them, is probably more effective than arguing about whether or not Noah actually existed or not. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter whether he did exist or not. The point is, if we ridicule the application of their own rule against them, it just makes their own arguments nonsense. And I think that's really effective.
But you're pronouncing as it's not Socrates, it's Socrates.
Are you doing the Socrates method right now? Yeah.
You said Socrates.
Socrates.
Somebody must have said that, otherwise you wouldn't be saying that. Where have you heard that said?
Oh, hell.
Probably Bill and
Bill and Ted.
Yeah. All right, Bill and Ted. It's the kind of thing I expect this idiot to say.
Guys, go watch Janusz's videos on Odyssey. Really good stuff. He's got a lot of content on there. Definitely well worth it.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, I always brag about the numbers of videos. I have over 33,000 videos. If you're looking for any specific video, just type in the search field. There are tabs on the middle of the screen, top of the screen, and second from the left is content. When you click content, there is a search field on the right hand side of the screen, and just type over there phrase you're looking for, or a word even better. So if you're looking for any specific, 99% I have it.
Hey, Janos, were you related to the librarian at Alexandria by chance? Because you got a lot of videos.
I do. Look, I'm doing what I'm doing since many decades, So, yeah, I have some knowledge about this crap. Unfortunately, I wish I would be wrong about many things, but so far, in a matter of the biggest events, I was correct. So, and this year, expect something big one. Maybe next pandemic, maybe next war, or AI takeover. Something big will happen. I don't know what, but this year is deadline, 2025. The other thing is, in 2025, because world is based on contract, Vatican has, for the Vatican, it's the last year of the contract owning our souls. So they have to come with something. Maybe CBDC or something. I have no idea, but something big will happen.
We'll see. Only time will tell. It's all part of Agenda 2030 as well. So
yes, Agenda 21, which is 21st century, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050. That's three of them.
Exactly. Yep. Taking back Eden, thank you again for another $5. Says some 215 known manuscripts of Plato survive. There are approximately 5,800 Greek manuscripts of the New Testament. I am trying to be accurate. That is so true. There is a lot of evidence and practically nothing for the globe.
Yeah, I was going to ask what survived out of Alexandria to start with. I don't think anything did it?
Can they even prove that there was a burning of the Alexandrian library?
They found the ruins of it underwater in just off the coast of Egypt, or they claim. The Library of Alexandria claims to have been found, as well as Cleopatra's palace. Okay. Whether that's actually true or not is a different point, but they claim it.
They also claim to have found Atlantis. So,
Can I just add to my previous point about the Socrates being swallowed by a fish and all that? When baby Jesus was born in a manger, right? And there was Mary and Joseph, and we all know the story, right? And if you don't, it don't matter, but most of us do. When they were visited from the east by three wise men, bringing gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Yeah.
I always like to refer to them. It doesn't matter who they were in the Bible, but if I refer to the three wise men as Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato, they don't like that either because it means they're worshiping Jesus.
Okay, we're ready to see the science that he's claiming.
Oh yeah, let's wait for it.
Hopefully he comes in.
Science.
What science?
Second of all, it has to involve reasonable expectations. I live in Michigan. I don't have access to a high mountain here. I'm not going to go out and rent an aircraft. If I do an observation of the horizon over Lake Michigan, I can only get a couple of directions. I can't get a 360 view because I'm standing on the shore looking out at the lake and there's land behind me. We can go to different sites if you think it's necessary. However, a total of 5 observations or less will need to be collected. In other words, I'm not going to drive all the way around Lake Michigan checking every 10 miles.
Okay, I just got to point out something. Do what you want, Bob. No one's forcing you to do anything.
Where's he going with this? He can't do them, so we've got to. Is that where he's going with it?
Yeah, but this doesn't make sense though, because he's saying we must set up an observation. Now he wants to say he's got to do stuff.
I got one point. You just get a boat, Bob, and go out in the lake, and then make some observations from there. You get to look at all the 360 degrees, dude. You get a full panoramic.
But Max, what he will see the horizon will be around 4.79 kilometers. If he stands on the boat, that will be max what you can see. So, but from this perspective, if he will be really in the middle of the sea, for him it will look like it's a globe because I can only see water, so it bends. But if he gets lenses, a camera in the phone, or a telescope, he will see further. So that's called perspective. And our eyes built this way, we can't see any further. That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
They don't freaking get it.
All he's trying to do is get us to do something so that they can pounce on it and basically be hypercritical and like basically say, oh, well, you didn't tell us what blood type you were, so we can dismiss it. And that's all they want to do, right? But when someone does something stupid like
critical things, you're correct. 100% agree with you, mate.
Yeah. But when you got one of them people on their side doing it, like Critical Think, where he gets a 10 kilogram weight or whatever it was and sticks it on a balance on a digital scale, and then does nothing else. That's all he does, and then calls it an experiment, and we point out all the flaws in it. You don't hear a single criticism video from any of their side, do you? Where's all the hate video from their side for all of the mistakes?
But that's false. We do hear criticism. They criticize us for telling him what he's done wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They criticize us rather than acknowledging that every point that we make is legitimate. None of it's personal and none of it's scorn. Yeah, the scorn might come after, but the point that precedes the scorn is bang on, and you guys can't even be honest about the point being true. He did not control his variables. He varied loads of variables. He didn't control any of them. He didn't have a hypothesis. He didn't even have an observed phenomena. It's just nonsense, but you can't even accept it.
Yeah, it's like Blackpool all over again, right, Anthony? It's like they did the same thing with you guys over there.
That's why there was a statement they don't understand science. They don't. Because they base their assumptions on the scientism.
Yeah.
I just can't stress it enough, really, guys. And they don't get it. And they think they are for the science because the science says, safe and effective. Good luck. Science says so. Safe and effective.
I think what he's done here, he's gone to his buddies and he's gone, right, let's set them a trap, and I bet they fall into it. And I bet you they thought that you would take it up and snap his hand off at it because you might have a P900 and he knows that you've got a P900, for instance, and he'll think, right, these are stupid enough to fall for this. Sorry, Bob.
Yeah, I'm not, because when I watched some of this morning, I was like, what is going on with this guy? There's no coherency here. There's no, sorry to say, knowledge of anything he's trying to talk about. He's trying to sound intelligent, but I mean, he can't even coherently state what he wants to go on.
But he destroyed this perception trying to sound intelligent when he opened his mouth.
Yeah.
That's rare.
I also want to ask again, what challenge?
Look, we don't need to provide evidence for anything. They are the claim. They are the ones who make a claim that Earth is a globe. It's on them, not on us. But they flip it.
Yep, exactly.
Miles to see what the dip to the horizon is. So you get 5 observations, pick them well. Next, you have got to agree to a reasonable margin of error. Characteristic 5 of science denial is an inappropriate demand of perfection from science.
characteristic 5 of science denial. Where's that come from? That's something new. Has he made this up?
Does science care about a person's opinion?
Has he made it up? Where does this come from?
That has to be made up.
It has to be. Science denial.
Okay. Try to Google this phrase. I don't know what I fucking just heard. try to Google it, guys, or whatever.
As about science ignorance.
But I'm going to ask again: does science care about a person's opinion?
No. Just causes.
Does that make it pseudoscience?
So you know
what?
what?
The cause of an effect. That's all it does.
I must be science then, because I do not give a FCK about the other people opinion about me.
You see, it's so simple. Science is just a method. It's an empirical way to just deduce a cause for an effect. That's it. This guy is now saying, oh, denial and this and that. That has nothing to do with science. This is why I always have an issue with philosophy of science, because people always take philosophy of science and they mix it into science. And I think that's a big issue today, why they sit with pseudoscience, because they've mixed philosophy of science and science together. And they've created a type of pseudoscientific branch.
Science fiction. That's one and the same. That's what it is.
That's why you have
Holistic
string
code.
theory, and you have all this quantum theories, and you have new. I mean, I think this is why Sabine Hoffenpfeffer, or whatever her name is getting so fed up with all these new theories coming out, because she's seeing all the bullshit.
Yeah, it's a bit weird with her, isn't it? Because like she says the right things sometimes, and then she goes like one of her videos will be like, I could accept half of this, because it sounds, the criticisms of science that she makes is valid, it's legit, right? And then the next video she'll do, it'll be all about how like some element of pseudo monkey science is just the new thing on the block, and you're like, oh, you just burnt yourself in the toe there by saying this nonsense now.
And you know why it happens? Do you know why it happens? Why she comes back to the things which she was being taught? Do you know why?
It's got to be something to do with being accepted by her peers.
It's called cognitive dissonance. So you always go to your baseline. You have been taught. That's why. She just rejects this way. That's a defensive mechanism. So she just protects herself. Her brain does that exactly, because she's been programmed this way. That's very simple.
Measurement is perfect. I would suggest a margin of error of plus or minus 10%, which is very reasonable for an amateur such as myself trying to measure the radius and curvature of the Earth.
Okay, I'm going to quickly also say it.
That's actually huge, 10%.
I'm going to do this again. I'm measuring the Bible. What margin of error should I have?
None.
Because I'm not calculating.
Plus
I'm
or
not
minus 10% according to Bot. So what is that measurement there, Flatzoid?
Well, it depends what side. 19.5 centimeters width, and it's 16 centimeters on the dot.
Do it again, because we're not sure. We got to make sure we got to calculate it properly.
No. So 16 centimeters, was that width, did you say?
16 centimeters width.
So
on
plus
the dot.
or minus 10%, you said, right? That means we can have 14.4 on one way and 17.6 the other way, right? Have I got this right?
But 1 minute though, if he's got a margin of error, 10% is calculating, he ain't measuring.
That's my point. But that's my whole point. If you're measuring, there is no such thing as margin of error.
You know what that is?
Measuring.
That's his wiggle room.
Calculations have margin of error.
That's his wiggle room, so he can squeeze the refraction calculations into it.
But that's my whole point. Calculations have margin of errors, not measurements. And we've been saying this for years. They don't know the difference between calculation and measure.
Yes, because
so when someone uses,
okay, go on.
Yeah. So when someone uses, for instance, a auto level or theodolite, they are measuring, literally optically measuring through a horizontal plane. So they're measuring distance.
Yeah.
They're calculating
yes.
errors.
Because words have meaning. And unfortunately, like I said before, English has been imposed on the world as double speak and double meaning, and people are using words where they shouldn't be using them because they do not go to the real definitions of the words. That's why there is
Exactly.
confusion. And
Yeah.
they
And
use,
by the way,
unfortunately, bad examples to provide supposedly evidence for their claims. No, they are they are wrong on the very core, on the very base. So whatever they come up later with, it's wrong. As simple as that.
I just want to say,
So
Bob the Science Guy is in chat. So, Bob the Science Guy, I did send you the link to come in if you're brave enough to come and
Have you seen what
try
he
and
put? It's
defend this
like
disaster.
it's like a 10-year-old. That's the soundbite I wanted.
really,
I'm
did he
sorry,
say that?
Bob.
I want to say something. Do we care what sound bites people have?
No, definitely not, because they're always misquoted out of context. Here, Bob, here's a
Yeah.
soundbite for you. There's a reason why you're called Bob the Fallacy Guy, and it's because when you try and reverse the burden of proof of measuring something onto us rather than measuring it yourself, that is reversing the burden of proof. That is why you are known as Bob the Fallacy Guy. There's your soundbite.
And he's Bob the not science guy because he doesn't know science, even if it had to hit him in the face.
Correct.
Usually
All of
with
them do.
age, wisdom comes. Not in this case.
So, any of you guys heard of the black swan fallacy? There was a guy pushing it around trying
I
to
did.
debunk the black swan. It's like they don't have a geometric horizon to work with. It doesn't block buildings, boats, planes, trains. It's basically just anything else but that. So that's what they play off of. And they're saying that the black swan fallacy is 364 days out of the year, it's going to be different. So therefore, our black swans are fallacious. Even though
It's
we do it over,
idiotic.
it's
Idiotic.
dumb.
Yeah. Look at Bob the Science Guy. When you have your experiment, I'll be next Friday to review it. No,
Don't be
there's
silly,
no
Bob.
experiment, you idiot.
You
I'm
don't know
telling
what an
you.
experiment is, Bob.
Yeah. I've emailed you, gave you the link. Come in so we can whip your ass around like we do every time you speak.
The thing is, Bob, you've been told for years that you're a fallacy guy and you don't know what science is, and you're still punting the same nonsense. You haven't learned a thing in 5 years.
It's sad. Is that how slow this guy is?
Does that surprise you?
No.
Yeah, it
Actually, it
does.
does.
It
It
does
does. The
surprise
guy's
me
getting
because
older.
these guys claim that science corrects itself. It clearly doesn't, because you've been corrected numerous times and you're still vomiting the same spiel.
I got more respect for Bev. I'm going to be honest. At least Bev's halfway honest.
Bob, if you have any critical thinking left in your mind, please use it for once. And please come to the conclusions without bias. Then, and only then, you will see the truth.
Yep. Okay. Let's carry on.
And the last criteria for the experiment is that you must predict in advance the results that would be a flat Earth and the results that would be a spherical Earth.
Okay, we don't need to predict anything, but I can tell you something. There is no measurement for Earth curve. Finish and clap. Because if there was, you would present it, Bob. Let's put this in another way. Someone can tell me, Flatzoid, you're lying. You don't own a blue pen. Okay, let's test that out. You made a prediction. I don't own a blue pen. I own a blue pen. Your prediction is false. Was that science? No, it wasn't. But did I present your claim false? Yes. So the same thing is here, Bob. You claim Earth curve is measured. So we're asking for the measurements of Earth curve.
And that's just not how far you can see, Bob. That's like I need a physical place where the Earth curves and blocks things. I need to see that curve.
Don't mix it
That's
with the
what we're talking
perspective.
about. Yeah. And we can figure out how far you're supposed to see with how far we can see. That's our prediction. If you want to know where your prediction lies, it lies in Earth curve. So your prediction is where the Earth curve is supposed to be. So, are you still out there? You going to come in?
No,
Don't
he's
be a
still there.
pussy
He's
about it.
running away. And I find it very sad because his first email to me today was, Flatzoid, you need to unblock me unless you are afraid. Understandable. Otherwise, you lose the challenge. I will post screenshots if you block if you don't remove it to show you are a coward if you try to claim I won't come on next Friday. Bob. All I said was, there is no challenge, Bob.
Bob,
Then he says,
show that you
don't
have
think you could
straight
step up.
backbone and
Yeah,
come to
this
the
is
debate.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
be
don't
a
think you
man.
could step up.
Be a man. You're an older guy, so I won't call you older guy. I'm older as well, but I can't call you man unless you come.
Your line of sight doesn't bend over a curve either, Bob. What was he saying back there?
Yeah, and he says, which he measured an iPhone app rather than an actual compass. That doesn't make a difference, you knob.
Next year, Flats, bring a real compass. Just get a military compass and bring it down there to get a declination for him.
I want to ask a question. What does a compass have to do with anything? They made a claim where the sun rises. I didn't even need a compass. I could have said, look, that's where he claimed the sun rises. This is where it rises. Full stop. Instead, I was nice enough to say, well, this is where it actually, based on a azimuthal measurement. You don't need a margin of error for an azimuthal measurement, Bob. Again, not understanding what azimuth is.
I get it. He thinks he's still the teacher, and he's going to come grade your paper, Flats.
Yeah, and I want to ask something. What does an azimuth require? A horizontal plane? Oh, no.
Well, to make a grid
Why is
properly,
everything based on horizontal planes?
You know, because we use Cartesian coordinates, the right-hand Cartesian world coordinate system, because we use that, right, and we put straight lines on it, if the Earth were actually curving down and Cartesian coordinates were being used, when you then curve the coordinate system to basically represent the claim that you're making, that would essentially, if you straighten it back out again I've got it the wrong way around. Right, ignore me. I'll have to formulate my words better. I'll come back in a few minutes.
Okay. So do you know the difference between a real compass and an iPhone compass, Flatzoid?
Yes, and by the way, you calibrate an iPhone compass, and you can set it with true north and magnetic north. By the way, I used 3 different phones when I did that observation, and they'll have the same measurements.
Can I just point out, though, if a phone compass were good enough for Final Experiment crew.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. You know, your beloved TFE, Bob. It were good enough there, weren't it, Bob?
Mm-hmm. But it's not good enough for me. But you see, at the end of the day, it's just they're making excuses because I showed their claim, because they claim the globe is very precise. Correct?
Yes.
And I showed it's not.
Now, I hope Bob gets this. I still put a membership in there. I hope he gets it.
Thank you very much for the membership, Roger. Really appreciate it. Janusz got it.
Oh, Janusz.
Really appreciate it, man.
Oh, lucky me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm lucky bastard.
Bob, you can compare it to an actual compass. It gives the same reading. Shame. Okay.
Flat, quick one. Did you go through email or not yet?
No.
Shit.
No.
Are you going to?
Is there something specific you want me to go on?
No, just read it. I just want to know your
It's
take.
a lot.
I know, but it's like I said before, it's only basics, you know. Just I didn't want to put too much over there because that would be way too long. Just go with it, you know. Just it's really like a 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes reading.
Mm-hmm. Because Bob's got a bit of an issue if he claims an iPhone compass is not the same as a normal compass, because he claims GPS, which the iPhone compass works off of. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works off towers and GPS. He claims is accurate on a globe, correct?
Yeah. It triangulates with the towers, right? Yeah.
Okay. So which is it? Is it not accurate now?
Obviously, it's not good with sunsets.
He's got to choose. He's got to choose one. He can't
sunrise.
have it both ways.
That's it. That's it.
Uh,
You can't be a well, because that's just it's double speak and hypocritical at the same time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Bob,
But like I said, yeah, but like I said, Bob that calls me a coward is too cowardice to come in.
No doubt. No doubt.
yeah,
Mm.
he's right here.
Now, you don't have to be exact on this. For example, if we were to look at drop at the horizon, the results for a flat Earth would be 0 drop, and the results for a
False. I can bring many demonstrations up which literally show it's all optical. How many times must you bring up observations and demonstrations showing optical obstructions, optical drop, as you call it?
Is he really about to claim drop on a globe horizon?
That's what he's claiming.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
And even on a globe, a horizon is...
How do you
Bob,
think they
go to
form
the right.
datums, Bob? Come on. Datums average out at a level plane. That's how they get the datums to begin with.
I'm gonna put
Nobody would
trolls up
ever
there.
be.
Yeah. We're still waiting for pitch data for the aircraft where it shows they're going over a curve.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Jedi Tech just said. He's working on fine pitch data for the aircraft. Exactly.
But it bends with the isobar because isobars bend across this curved horizon that we see.
But you see, that's the problem with an isobar. It's already begging the question and affirming the consequent. You're just saying an isobar bends over a curve, so therefore it bends over a curve. No, you haven't proven that. You just said that.
Well, you get isobar from elevations from your level horizon, right? That's where they.
Yeah, but it's the same as claiming that the reason Superman wears a red cape and not a pink cape is because he likes red better than pink. Is that provable? No, because I just said it.
Yeah. They say it bends because it bends.
Yeah. They're already affirming the consequent. They're begging the question, affirming the consequent for the outcome. And this is the unfortunate truth of what the globe's based upon, especially when it comes to curve measurements. There is no measurement. It's a calculation based on the already presumed ellipsoidal model that they put their calculations and corrections into to make it fit. Yes, to make it fit what they assumed it to be.
Oh, Bob's in the chat. I didn't realize he was in the chat.
You didn't realize that, man? Yeah, I know where they're going to go next. They're going to go with the magnetic field around the Earth and how it bends everything on the outside of the Earth, protect it from the sun's storms and stuff. And it bends the isobars to fit the curve of the Earth. That's their next card.
So in other words, magic.
Yeah. Here comes Bob again. What does he get to say? Pitch data measurements vector down. Yeah, they vector down, Bob. That's amazing.
And what do you know when they fly level flight, Bob?
Well,
wait. Going down.
Hold on 1 minute. Pitch data is just a recording of what's happened. It don't measure now.
No, it's horizontal from what I can tell, from what I've read, from the pitch data I've seen, especially that long haul flight that had an emergency landing. Yeah.
Bob's words, pitch data measures to the vector of down. Pitch data don't measure now. It's a recording of what that flight's been doing.
It's like dead reckoning.
What an idiot.
Of course. I mean, that's what it's called. It's the data. It's the info about it. It's not the actual...
Well, he's the same guy that said, no, the planes don't dip over a ball, and then takes a ball and takes a plane and shows the nose dipping.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Curved Earth with a radius of approximately 6,371 kilometers would be a drop of 8 inches per mile squared.
Oh, and I got to say, that was already debunked thanks to the Black Swan.
Amen.
Now here's the kicker for you. If I agree that your proposed experiment would be able
What experiment? Where have I proposed any experiment?
He's talking about Sav and his measurements. But
No.
I got one thing.
This was a challenge to Flatzoid. It
Was-
says a
was Sav in
challenge
middle?
for Flatzoid and his posse.
No, and it said especially the guy in the middle. I mean, he never showed us who guy in the middle was, but now Roger's mentioned that, I'm thinking Sov might have been in the middle.
No,
He
I
was
think
in
it was Solve, but the point is, he's trying to reverse the burden onto everybody because he can't just present what was asked. Myself and Sov asked Duffy for very specific things. Now, Bob trying to come in white knight for Duffy, instead of just saying, okay, here's the measurements you asked for, now he wants to say, well, you guys, you make an experiment, you choose. What?
Okay, I got a question for Bob, right quick. When you're flying horizontally, they remain at an elevation, right? Like they're at 30,000 feet. They stay at that level when they're in flight, correct?
Yes.
They would have to dip their nose to lower with the curve of the Earth. They'd have to go with the convexity.
They don't have to change their thrust, and they don't have to change their angle of attack. It just stays the same.
They maintain that lift at that level.
They maintain the same altitude, same lift, same power, everything.
Well, let's see the Earth curve underneath it, Bob. That's what we're looking for. Pretty obvious, isn't it? Like you just said.
Yep.
able to tell the difference between a flat and a curved Earth, and I agreed to do it. You must go on record agreeing that you will accept the results of the experiment. I will state in advance that if the results demonstrate a flat Earth, I'll be a flat earther. However, you have to state in advance that if the results demonstrate a globe Earth...
Okay, I'm going to point again. There are no measurements for a curve, so automatically the default is flat. So by your own admission, you have to be a flat earther now, because you're saying there's no measurement for a curve. Well done.
And we're not talking about throwing a Habermas formula or what do they call it? Calculus, spherical geometry. That we're not measuring an elevation to a star neither. And your elevations stay the same regardless. So that's not going to help you any. It's already preset in that elevation that you have. That's how they made the globe to start with. We already know how that works, Bob. So we want just straight up measurements here on the terra firma. That's it.
Well, that's the thing. When they do try and apply, measurements, it's based on horizontal measurements, then calculated to make the curve. There is no measurement of curve. There's none. So this guy is already lost. He's already defeated.
Yeah, and it is also shown everybody tonight that it has no clue what science is, because he thinks he's doing an experiment to prove shape at ground.
Exactly.
So basically, they're taking the weight of the Earth, the rate it's going to fall, and make it gravity, and then they try to bend it around their sphere, right? That's where they get the calculations from. They were doing flight.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bob, I don't have to design anything. Just present measurement of Earth curve.
And the tool that did said measurement as well.
Yeah. We already know what the radius and the curve is supposed to be, Bob. If you can prove that, that's what we want to see.
Design the
with a measurement.
And that doesn't make sense to me. Design the observation. Isn't the observation just what you're looking at? How do you design what you're looking at? Maybe it's just English. I don't know.
And when you take off in an airplane, do you set your gyro at a horizontal and you remain at that same horizontal from one point to the other, correct? So where's that curve at?
You do change elevation, but you stay parallel to the set horizontal when you made on the runway.
Yeah.
To design a
because that's how you know you have true horizon. Your true horizon is set on the runway.
the topography below you is going to drop and rise. So you're going to try to make a prediction that's going to fit your severe. That's what you're
I've got to say again, Bob the science guy, are you clean out the wax in your ears? There is no experiment. It's not science. Stop saying experiment.
Of radius 6,371 kilometers approximately, you will give up this flat Earth silliness, and you will admit that the Earth is a globe. You must agree to that before I go through the effort of doing the experiment.
I don't give a damn what you do.
Wow.
I'm not the one with the insecurities here.
I'll never admit that the Earth's a globe because it's not. I'm not going to lie.
But the thing is, you see what he's doing. I'm not going to do this unless you admit it.
This is adult ballers call it cope.
Cope, yeah.
I don't need to do anything. It doesn't bother me what you do, Bob. If you want to believe in a donkey Earth, it's up to you. The point is, you so badly want to make, how can I put this? Make us globers again, then present what was asked. Don't try and tell us it's our problem now. We don't give a damn because we don't care about your globe belief. We do care about reality, though, and reality shows it's a stationary, enclosed, flat, measured plane.
Yeah.
And rise over run's not going to help you. Drop in elevation.
Stationary plane.
Oh God.
Yeah, Bob, you can measure. You can measure this curve if you say it exists. So just do it, man. Do it. Do it, Bob. You can do it. Just do it.
You can do it, Bob.
Do it. Do it, man. Do it.
Hey. Send him the Pablo video I gave the other day. Maybe he can figure that out. It's straight up observation.
There's plenty of stuff on my channel that demonstrates the globe. But if you want me to dance to your tune and do your experiment, you are going to pay the piper, sir. Now, Flatzoid, you and your little band can discuss this.
1 minute.
I will make myself available to come on your show next Friday.
1 minute.
Whoa, Andy's demanding when he will come on my show.
1 minute, though. Like, at what point has anybody addressed Bob and asked him to provide out?
Never.
Nope.
And by the way, Bob, this is your time to come on. If you're not coming on now, that's it. I don't need to hop onto anything you say because you demand. So you are in chat right now, so you're able to come on.
I know who sent him. It's Duffy. Remember Duffy said he's going to provide the experiment? He's going to make us provide the so-called experiment with Bob and try to publicly embarrass. Yeah, I know it's not an experiment.
But like I said, who's he to demand us to do things? And he even wants to dictate on my show when I have to make it available for him to come. No. You have your show now. You can come on now, Bob. You in chat.
Banging on about an experiment. Bob, you're digging a hole, man.
You don't have an experiment yourself, Bob. You really don't. Do you understand experiments?
I think Anthony was right. I love that word, experiment. A bit.
But that's why I said. Back in a minute. That's why I said he has to come on, so we can discuss and we can show him how he doesn't know what science is. But the guy's too much of a coward.
Alan's funny. Don't tell Bob to come on anything if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So that was Bob not knowing science. Who else can we find who doesn't know science? Simon Dan. I haven't watched these stuff in such a long time.
Sci-fi Dan and sci-fi Bob.
Let's see.
Oh, there he is. He's still here. I thought he left.
He's got the link to come in.
Yeah. Bob. We'll dogpile him. Don't forget. Who's that? Planet Peterson. That's his student. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
I don't see him talking about science anywhere. This is the problem I have with Simon Dan. He's claimed to be a science channel, but there's no science anywhere.
He's a science communicator. That's what he is. He's not. They're not, nothing to do with science. They're just
By
communicating.
trying to name the flags of the world. Okay.
Science.
By science
There you go.
communicated, do you mean when he goes, science says so?
Oh hell.
Nah.
Okay, I got one. I got one for Bob. Tell him to present something with air pressure without containment, or pressure without, or how about fluid, gases, any of it.
Gas pressure without containment.
Any element you can't move without containment. Really, even electricity, you have to have it contained in a wire before it's transferred. Any element, man.
Okay, I
That's
found
not true.
something with science. Creationism.
That's not true. You can get electricity to jump a gap.
Oh yeah, you go. Yeah. Spark plugs. There you go.
How's about a cup of coffee without the cup?
Oh, Don Pettit did it. You remember the bag?
Okay, this one. Can't this creationist prove God by using science?
It's week 2 of me being on holiday, and
I want to ask something, guys.
So straight off bat, right, it's just shown that he don't understand science.
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole point.
Straight off bat.
Is God supernatural or is he natural?
Supernatural.
And is supernatural based in scientific worldview?
No.
Science is only limited to the natural world.
Yeah, the physical and natural world, as opposed to the metaphysical one that you have gravity in.
Which is also true. Yeah, by definition, gravity is actually supernatural then.
Yeah, that's why we call it voodoo, black magic, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah,
You
his
can't
own,
vary it either.
yeah, so his own title already debunks any claim about science. So that's quite sad.
Well,
I
Bob's
have
definitely a
another
chicken.
2 guest creators lined up for your viewing pleasure. First up is the Skeptic, a fellow Brit who likes to debunk creationists. Hello everyone. I am currently sunning myself and watching an R&B legend on a balcony somewhere. The Skeptic is up soon, but first a word from our sponsors and a thank you. It really our back. Adaptive dynamically
Oh my God.
special. My exclusive code best time to buy demand 7 Pro. If you're on a limited budget, in the video, and rather you than me, my friend.
All right then. Thanks, Dan. Like the legend that is Simon Dan mentioned, I'm the Skeptic, the British floating circle that moved to Bible Belt America. I take it upon myself to point out the silly things that religious folks believe and explain why I don't accept what they're saying. Before we start this video, though, don't forget to hit the like button to help Dan's algorithm, and if you're new, subscribe and hit the bell notification to get more critical thinking content. Also, feel free to check out my channel. Comfort, the Kiwi bloke that loves bananas and thinks he converts atheists on the mean streets of America. Well, he's back again with a way to prove God with science. And since this is...
Oh, and we just have to point out, Ray Comfort doesn't know what science is either.
None of them know what science is.
Any glober out there, practically any glober, doesn't really know what the hell's going on with science, because they usually claim as soon as they say science, therefore it's scientific.
Yeah, what the problem is they have their own definition of the word science, and in their definition of science, it doesn't include experiment. It allows for calculation in lieu of experiment, and in their definition, that's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
They rewrote the scientific method. That's all it is. That's what they're doing daily. Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing I just can't stand. There are multiple scientific methods. No, there's one method. That's it. There's one method.
You can't have multiple causes in the bunch. You'll never find your real cause. It's convoluted. Yeah.
Simon Dan's channel, we're going Side circle tick with this one.
Do you think Noah's Ark really happened, literally?
I'm on the fence, but I do believe it happened.
They did find something that resembles the lost ark. There's got to be some truth to that.
I really just don't know. I believed in it for a long time. I was raised a Christian, and I had a very firm belief in Noah's Ark. But over time, I've kind of lost the belief that it actually happened.
And I'm with this guy. My 10-year-old stepdaughter has better reasons for why Noah's Ark didn't happen. Freshwater.
Okay.
Huh?
Where's the science yet?
Don't want to mention to him that they've actually got the ark itself in the mountains of Ararat, exactly where it was said biblically, where it landed, and it matches the dimensions that it's stated in the Bible. But we'll look past that evidence. We'll ignore it, pretend it don't exist.
I got one thing right quick.
The fish not being.
The fresh water comes from the rain cycle, dude. It evaporates out of the salt water. The clouds go up in the sky, and
it's called condensation.
Yeah. So fresh water is their excuse for Noah's flood
We're
not
going
to
to see
happen.
now. We haven't heard the argument yet.
God damn! I guarantee it, dude.
He did preface it though with my 10-year-old has got better. Did he say 10-year-old? I didn't quite catch how old. But
Yeah, it was a 10-year-old. Yeah.
if it was a 10-year-old and this is the best argument that he thinks that she's got, and he thinks that this argument is better than anything else, what does that say about your process for evaluating evidence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being able to survive in the salty mix. The plants not being able to survive.
Whoa. Freshwater fish being able to survive in the salty mix. Oh my word. Has this guy actually seen fish just, I don't know.
Can I just point out the obvious that I don't even understand how that connects in any way whatsoever? What's that got to do?
No, he's saying because it flooded and it's all salt water, apparently. They're making assumptions. It mixed with fresh water, so all freshwater fish would be dead. No.
Oh, right. So he ignores rainfall then. That basically fixes that, right?
Yeah, he ignores rainfall, ignores that fish lay eggs.
This is why we don't listen to 10-year-olds as a general rule of thumb. Yeah, they might tell you the truth when there was a white van following them home, but when they come to creation stories and arguments about it, arguing this point's not a credible position. But I mean, if you think this is the best argument that you've heard, again, what does it say about your ability to evaluate evidence?
There's plenty of fish that can do salt water and fresh water as well. Plenty. I mean, I dare say they would adapt to it, wouldn't they, as well?
But also, remember when we said supernatural's not science. God can supernaturally cause fish to be able to adapt in salt water if needed be.
Of course.
Correct?
Yes.
What's stopping him from doing that?
Yeah, but if God did do that, they would then claim that was proof of evolution because the fish has evolved to live now in either fresh from salt
But that's
or
the problem. Even that's not, because that is adaptation.
Yeah.
They love
would claim
taking
it as
adaptation
evolution,
and
right?
trying to claim. Yeah, they love taking
Yeah.
adaptation and claiming evolution, which is rubbish.
Yeah. They do that all the time.
What's happening, guys?
Good.
Yeah, they've had sharks that migrate their way up the Mississippi River, even
Yeah.
come into
Bull sharks.
the
Bull
Gulf
sharks.
of America.
I mean, we got bull sharks that survive in freshwater and saltwater.
Yep.
Oh,
They ain't got no idea what they talking about.
Nope.
Correct.
40 days and 40 whatever
40 days,
the flood
40 nights.
lasted. Yeah.
Hey, Sov, this guy reckons his 10-year-old daughter's got better evidence for what? How did he word it?
That was
10-year-old.
flat debunked.
What?
What now?
His 10-year-old's got better evidence that Noah's Ark never existed, and then brought up freshwater fish.
And this is why you don't listen to 10-year-old daughters in terms of debunking the arguments putting forward in the Bible.
I'm pretty sure there were mountain lakes and streams and stuff that didn't actually get flushed into the sea. It didn't cap it all off. I'm pretty sure some freshwater fish made it through that process.
Yeah, but like
And
I said,
alligator-
fish lay eggs. Eggs could be incubated. God made this whole thing supernaturally. He did this. He was able to supernaturally stop fish from dying if he wanted to, whatever.
Of course.
And what about how many claims
no
have you heard
science
over
yet.
your life? How many claims over your life have you heard where science has declared that a particular species has become extinct? And then like 50, 60, 70, 90 years later, they found one and they go, Oh,
That's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
It's true.
But I still don't see science here.
No.
Probably dodos still running about somewhere, you know.
I tell you something, there'll come a point where there'll be a white rhino. Remember white rhinos went extinct? Was it late 90s or whatever it was?
Something like that.
You watch in the next 30, 40, 50 years, maybe not in our lifetime, but at some point they'll make they'll come back and they'll be scratching their head saying, oh, we must have missed a family in somewhere in the middle of the woods. And it's like, no, it's just maybe there's just something else going on here.
That's it.
Where am I? I've got someplace about a thing about the gopher wood.
Oh yeah, because gopher wood is only in America apparently.
Florida, yeah. Let's see, maybe it was on X. Yeah, here you go. This is
I'm just gonna say that
here. I'll tell you what. I'll
10-year-olds
send you the link to the post, and you can play it if you want. Hold on.
Yeah, that's what I think as well, Jedi. Grand Canyon would be formed by the flood.
It's proven that eruption, that Mount St. Helens, that caused like a mini Grand Canyon.
Yep.
And water is very powerful. Very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. Any guys on the panel? I've sent it to a few of you email. Any of you did go through full email yet? Just reading without videos?
Okay.
Did you guys read Janusz's email yet?
You're slacking, guys.
I'm bad at
I just got home. I ain't been slacking. I've been hanging cabinets all day. And guess what? The most crucial measurement that I used all day long hanging cabinets was.
It wasn't the radius of the Earth, was it?
No, quite the contrary.
No.
It was level. That's
I
right.
thought you were going to say diverging plumb bob.
Level 90 degrees, yeah.
Wait,
Yes,
did you
sir.
not calculate any corrections for an ellipsoidal model into it?
No, we couldn't do that. It would have come out all wonky. It would have never been any good.
Ah.
Beautiful thing to behold.
There it is. Out there.
I think about in the center of the garden, north and south. The Garden of Eden, east and west, is not over 10 miles wide, paralleling the river from Chattahoochee down to Bristol. But you're right in the center of it here at Torrey State Park, north and south, between Chattahoochee and Bristol.
Well, now, according to the Bible, the Garden of Eden must have trees pleasant to the sight, and it must have gold and onyx stone and a river of 4 heads. Is this one of the rivers?
This is the Pison River, which is mentioned in the 2nd chapter of Genesis, when it says, a river went out of Eden to water the garden and parted and became into 4 heads. The tree life from Chattahoochee to Bristol is the largest of any other area in the world. The Bible names 28 trees. The best authority on earth have identified 27 of them here, and many more, including the gopherwood tree. The Bible names those 4 river heads as the Pison, the Gihon, or Gihon.
So I say thank you, Tony Wickham, for your £5 super chat. He says, if trees never existed, then they would never have an explanation for gravity. Weird that.
True.
That is true. No apple falling. Thank you very much for the super chat, Tony. You rock.
I had an idea right quick. Wouldn't roots, tree systems, wouldn't that filter out the salt water inlands and create fresh water for those? But yeah, just had an idea.
And salt water and fresh water doesn't mix. It separates.
Yeah. There you go.
So, yes, you are able to have ecosystems within an ecosystem where freshwater fish could survive anyway.
Yeah, you can see it when it comes to the delta of a river. You can see where it separates, you know.
Yeah, and there was a lot of rainfall going on at the time too. It was probably fresh water, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't reckon I've ever seen a whole lot of seawater fall from the sky.
It doesn't even fall from the sky when you're at seaside.
No.
Plenty of that.
Wow, good to see you seeking Starwood. Haven't seen in a while. Moved to Mexico.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, here it's cheaper there than here for sure.
Oh yeah, somebody was talking about that on my show the other night. Somebody it's down in Cabo.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
starts with a B. Remember,
Yeah, it starts with a B. No, it has a B in it. Good job there, Porter. I'm gonna dog him for that. I'm gonna dog him for that
Yeah.
next time. Because I'm sitting there trying to think of everything I could think of starts with a B. Baja. They couldn't find out it had a B in the name, but it wasn't Cabo. And he said it's like what did he say for like $2,000 for a year?
That's not bad, man.
That's everything.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I paid that a month here in Denver just to rent.
You see, Bob was saying it's solved. You see, guys, it says Bob,
Yeah.
this challenge is to you. Oh,
There you
now
go.
He acts like he's like, oh,
Challenges to me to what? For what?
Oh, challenges to you.
So he's,
you know
he's
what's
just
so bad?
spent about half an hour banging on to all us about experiments that don't exist and all that garbage, and it weren't even to us.
Yeah.
Bob,
But
you're
anyway, so he says, remember, because yourself and myself, we asked Duffy to present actual measurement for Earth curve.
Yeah.
Well, now Bob has put a challenge to us.
Well, what
especially
challenge?
you, to set up an observation experiment that he can do.
Oh, okay. Okay. No problem. No problem. All you have to do, it's real simple. It's all you have to do is show measurable convexity 360 degrees around a single point. Okay. At three different places. In three different places. And the radius must be consistent with the value given for the Earth. There you go. If you want to do it with a fucking laser and a theodolite, I don't care how you do it. The burden of proof for convexity is on you, bro. Not me. I don't have to prove what I observe. You have to prove the clown shit that you say that goes against my observable reality.
So you see, that's Bob's issue here. He's trying to say we must tell him what to do. We must tell him where to go.
I don't have to do shit. I don't have to do anything. You're the clown coming out here telling me I live on a spinny, wobbly space testicle flying around in space. You got to prove that shit. And so far, you haven't met the challenge, my man. So I don't know what to tell you.
Obviously, we pointed out that it was a reversal of the burden of proof fallacy in the first place and that he hasn't learned anything in the last 5 years, and promptly told him to come over and suck our knobs.
He hasn't done it yet, neither.
Guys, but what do you expect? He's just immune to knowledge.
Well, they're real desperate to get people to buy this physically impossible, ridiculous concoction that they have everybody thinking in their brain that, more and more people are realizing, you know what, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. And they're really getting desperate at this point. Oh, you have to give me an experiment. You have to have a challenge. I don't have to do shit except just observe.
Look, for them, there's nothing impossible. They can even put the steel helmet on the wrong side.
I tell Bob this. I'll give you some of Bo's observations
Today is
and
Friday,
Pablo's.
Bob. Bob, I don't know if anybody told you, but today is Friday. Okay.
Yeah, no. He's talking about next Friday. He's actually even demanding me that I must make time for him next Friday. It's no bullshit, man. Your stream's here. You can come on now.
Who do these people think they are?
Yeah, exactly. He can
He's
come on now.
gonna
If
go-
he doesn't come on now, he's just showing he's a coward running away. I don't need to. He just because he snaps his fingers doesn't mean I need to do anything for him.
This is the guy with the little toy airplane in the globe, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. All right.
And he's not here to debate. He's here to teach.
I want to put this up quickly, and let's laugh at it. I'm going to point this out quickly to you.
Oh.
Why is all flat Earth still here and getting stronger? TFE failed miserably. It gave how can I put this? An opposite effect to what you wanted.
You made the flat Earth.
You're
flat.
making more flat earthers, man.
Yeah.
No, Flat, you are wrong.
If
You're wrong.
If TFE
Duffy destroyed the flat Earth.
If TFE destroyed flat Earth, why is there still balls debating flat Earthers? Why are you in this chat, Bob? Why are you making videos, Bob? If you're wasting your time because flat Earth's been destroyed.
All I've seen is flat Earth channels grow because of TFE.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they cast a shadow of a doubt on the globe when they did it because they did a lot of weird crap. That's on them.
Here's the thing, Bob. If you are so convinced that TFE concretely proved that the Earth is a globe, then shut the fuck up now. Go someplace else. You don't have anything to make videos about, right? Go make cat videos or do videos about flying your little airplane or whatever it is you do. You shouldn't even be worried about it no more, right?
He's still mad. He's still mad at Nathan, dude. He's still mad because Nathan embarrassed him in public several times.
I was about to say, he says it's self-destructing, like Jaron Whitsitt and Nathan. What do you mean by what? How is it self-destructing?
We all use Nathan's arguments, Bob. Nobody uses Jaron or Austin's arguments, but everybody uses Nathan's one way or another. Exactly. You just don't like it because he spanked your ass numerous times, and that's why you can't go in there. Not because you've got better science than him or can explain how he's wrong. He spanks your ass every single time, and that's why you stay away.
I reckon now's a good time to get Numpty clip up.
I don't believe I have seen any actual science that supports the globe. I've heard a lot of wild theories and a lot of wild conjecture involving physical impossibilities. But as far as any science is concerned, no. And Bob, this might hurt your feelings, but astronomy is not science. Okay?
No.
He thinks it is. He does. And he thinks that they do spectroscopy or something, that's the science part of it. Yeah.
3 months ago, we were all quoting Whitsitt. I'm sure I wasn't.
Nope. I've been quoting Whitsitt my whole life, dude. Not once. Ever.
In addition,
actually,
Bob, that's for you.
I've got a challenge for Bob, since he's in. Bob, come in now. We'll give you 10 minutes uninterrupted time to present science for your globe.
There you go. I'm
That's
down
perfect.
for that.
Yeah, we'll shut our mouth. I'll go on mute, Bob, right now.
But suppose he does it, we need to define what science means before you do it, Bob. Because we all know what science is, and it's not just calculating stuff, is it? It is actually observing something and experimenting by definition. So it's not calculating, it's not assuming that it exists, it's actually experimenting.
The 24-hour sun did what, dude? Okay. That's what they're hinging this whole thing on. Everything.
He's kicked the cup. Oh, unbelievable. To really think this 24-hour sun thing has done it, so stupid.
I'm gonna quote Whitsitt. If you want to quote from Whitsitt, he's like, a 24-hour sun did not debunk flat Earth at all. Matter of fact, it disproves a radius value for your Earth.
Yeah, I'm going to quote Whitsitt too. I vape, but I don't vape, and you didn't see me vape because you saw me vape.
No vaping.
I'm going to quote him too. What's up now?
I'm paraphrasing.
No, I'm going to quote him too. I'm just coming on here to defend myself because you're slandering me and lying about me while you're literally proving me.
That's some crazy.
What experiments did he form? They formed 15 different experiments.
I'm still waiting for those experiments. Has anybody seen to date? Wait, has anybody seen to date one experiment presented by TFE?
We're waiting.
One experiment presented by Fight the Flat Earth?
No, by TFE.
We don't.
What's TFE?
The final
excrement.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, the fraudulent experiment.
Yeah.
There's no science in there.
Also known as Duffy's failure.
Yeah, Duffy's failure.
Uh-huh.
He wants to know how geometry works on the flat Earth, guys.
So
with straight lines in a Cartesian coordinate system, you Burke.
So Bob the Science Guy, when are you going to come present science for the globe, man? I challenge you to come and give 10 minutes presentation.
What do you think celestial navigation is if it's not geometry on a flat Earth?
Okay, guys, you ready to laugh?
Oh yeah, I've seen this a million times. Here we go. Here you are, Bob. Enjoy.
Shout out to QE.
Bob, the pseudoscience fallacy flathead Herman Munster quanumberum guy, who freely admits Brenda is smarter than he is.
Oh my goodness.
February.
Shoes are phenomenon, guys.
What's the difference between natural and unnatural science?
Unnatural science? That's a new one. Let's see what unnatural means. Abnormal. Lacking human qualities or sympathies. Sounds like the science your fleet of male slobber nurses do on you, Bob. Hey, seen any fists appearing out of nothing lately?
Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Experiment.
There are no
to see if you
independent,
can-
dependent variables in the scientific method, so just drop that.
What? Wait. Did I hear that right? Did he just
Yes,
say
you
that?
did.
Did he say there's no IVs and DVs in a scientific experiment? Oh
What?
my god! Is that what he said? Did I miss?
Yeah. We just heard that right.
And that's what you had.
Flip a J on it, man. Flip a J
Oh
on
dear.
Come
Now I
on,
know
Bob,
why
tell
there's
us
a
in
chemical
person.
The
pilot
best
noise
text
in
I
the
have
background.
heard today, to be honest.
It's nonsense.
You can't beat it. You can't.
The pilot noise in the background is the perfect sound effect.
Well, you know what? His comeback to Nathan is he's a theater major.
Knock it
That's
back
it.
a few. Let's listen to it again.
Yeah. That is just
Scientific method, so just drop that.
right.
Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Experiment.
There are no
to see if you
independent,
can-
dependent variables in the scientific method, so just
Wow.
drop that.
Okay.
He did say it.
He did actually say it.
He actually said it. There's no
I'd love to know where
independent.
he gets that from. He couldn't have just thought that up. He must have seen that somewhere. Surely.
Wow.
Well, I know where it is. It's in the Flurfer's Bible. That's where it says that.
I can
Well,
pick
the
up
West Bible, not the
many
West.
citation now and show him that's specifically science.
Yeah. That's the way scientists work. If they're true scientists, not pseudoscientists. People who pretend to be scientists and science communicators, and who try to walk around and slander people and make their astronomy fit their observation. Yeah. It's two different things.
Wow.
I gotta keep Bob's run off.
I love that laugh.
You are so dumb. Damn.
Man, you really spit the bed on this one, Bob. Bob's claim. There are no independent or dependent variables in the scientific method. As everyone knows, the scientific method is founded upon hypothesis and experiment. So let's see what these actually mean. From Colorado State University, scientific hypothesis. A special kind of prediction that forecasts how the independent variable will affect the dependent variable. From Penn State University, the scientist applies his or her present knowledge to predict the effect of the independent variable.
Sorry, why do I always get this right, Tony? I always miss your super chat somehow. I'm so sorry. It's always Tony's. I appreciate the super chat, but he says the globe can only be proven on the 8th day of the week.
True. That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with
Thank
that.
you very much for the super chat, man. You rock. But yeah, the fact that he actually thinks science doesn't have a dependent and independent variable is one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard anybody claim about science.
What I've said before, they don't have basics. So whatever they come with, it's not science. Just
Mhm.
pseudoscience.
And by the way, I just want to point out the Drunk Debunk Show says we didn't do any science. I did an experiment with claiming to, experiment on gravity. and didn't show true because I showed when I removed mass, it went down. Sleeping Warrior also did an experiment, which was dubbed the egg experiment.
Yeah.
Remember?
So we both did experiments. We did science. We said our scientific hypothesis and experiment for relative density disequilibrium.
He also said something about like non-scientists poking fun at people who do science kind of thing. I'm paraphrasing.
What's a scientist, guys?
But
anybody that adheres to the scientific method by definition.
So we are scientists.
If we adhere to scientific method by definition, we are scientists. That means anyone that calculates in lieu of doing experiment. What does that make you, Bob?
Mathematician.
Deluded.
Yeah.
Well, I did an experiment. It was a while back. I would put air in my tire and it kept leaving the tire. And so what I did was I fixed the leak in the tire.
Oh, did you do a bit of maths to fix the leak?
No, I didn't at all. I used some dish soap. I used some dish soap and some water, and I spread it on the tire, and that's where I saw that the air was coming out because it left little bubbles as it escaped the containment that was giving it pressure, in its attempt to equalize with the outside pressure. And as soon as I sealed it up, guess what? It didn't happen anymore. And the pressure stayed within it. So that tells me that you need physical containment in order to have gas pressure.
Did you not apply the Boltzmann formula to calculate the rate of air loss?
I was gonna, but it was cold, so I didn't want to dick around with it.
But you had to work out your declination, so you know how much gravity is being forced. You know how much you have to apply, man, to counteract the gravity. Come on.
Yeah, because obviously you need to know your elevation there. Because if you got your elevation wrong, you'd either have too much elevation and therefore less gravity, and it'd all come out.
Well, that was another thing too, because my tires, they were totally full at 4,000 feet. And when I drove my Jeep up to just about 8,700 feet up in the mountains, guess what happened to the tire pressure? It got lower.
So the outside air pressure got lesser, right?
Because what happened? Yeah, what happens to air when it gets presented to a lower volume? It expands.
That's
right. That's why you never go for a drive and then check your tire pressure.
No, the friction will warm it up.
Did you say that you got higher and the pressure went lower?
Yes.
Is it not the other way around? I'm sure as you go higher.
No, I meant the outside pressure was lower. The tires,
I thought you meant the tire pressure.
It's like taking a bag of chips and you drive up a mountain and it blows up.
That happened. The little store right by where I lived, Highway 395 was closed because of some kind of a accident, a log truck or some shit like that had it blocked. So the delivery guy went and took one of the mountain pass roads. And by the time he got to the store, all the potato chips bags, almost all of them had burst open. And the soda, some of those soda bottles and shit had popped.
Oh, look, Bobsy claimed he measured, guys, 2 inches over half a mile.
2 inches over half a mile?
Well, that would only be 4 inches for 1 mile. That's not consistent with the radius value given.
What is he measuring here? Is he measuring the curvature of Earth?
Apparently, that's a measurement. I would like to see this measurement.
Hang on a minute. So if it was 2 inches over, what was that message you put on?
Well, let me put it up again.
Did he say 2 inches over? 2 inches over half a mile.
Yeah.
So if it was over a mile, I mean, he must think that the Earth's not got an exponential drop of curvature rate, right? Because I'm sure that's half the value.
Squared, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he's just put half of it. So obviously you've not measured it, Bob, at all. You've just calculated it.
And it's divided.
Then you've done it wrong. Oh, hang on, no, because isn't it 6? What is it?
It's 8 inches per mile squared. Is rating, eh?
Oh yeah, you might have it right. Ignore me.
Mile, 8 inches, yeah.
Ignore me. I did the wrong maths there. I made the Earth a little bit smaller than what it should have been.
But the claim is he measured this, so that's what
How
I
do you
want to
measure
see.
that?
I want to see the measurement.
I bet he didn't. I bet he calculated it.
Based on a misinterpretation of a long-range observation.
Bob was trying to catch people out with that comment. You know that, right?
Well, don't you have to figure out your dip over distance when you're making an observation?
Yeah, I want to know. He claimed a very specific thing there. He claimed he measured. So I want to know where this measurement is.
Yeah, I'd love to see this measurement. And what method did you use to do it? And did you use curvilinear coordinate systems, or did you use a linear one? The one that we actually use in real world, because that matters in your world. Don't matter in our world, but it does for you.
He's not claiming he's measured that. He said 2 inches over half a mile is what is measured. He's not claiming to measure it. He's claiming globe claim there, and he was trying to catch.
No, he's claims it's measured,
and he was trying to catch people out with that.
Oh, you're saying he didn't measure? No, he said he measured it.
No, it says 2 inches over half a mile is what is measured.
Let me see.
I wonder which level did he use to measure it from? Did he use his local vertical and then get a 90 from that? Or did he use the local vertical from the other end of it and get 90 from that? Just wondering how you did the geometry in this. And did you use Euclidean or non-Euclidean?
You probably used calculus, the spherical geometry.
Oh, yeah, it says what is measured. Yeah, he didn't say what he measured. So I read that wrong, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful with this slimy character.
Yeah, you do have to be careful, yeah. You'll have a soundbite of me now, misread, because I forgot the value. I forgot that it was 8 inches per mile squared.
It's actually 7.9, but they use 8 because it's easy.
Yeah.
They rounded up. Yeah.
I've just
says, what about
in reality, the rate of curvature is 0. Okay, that's reality.
What was that message there, Flatzoid? Put it back on.
He says, what don't you get from measured is measured. What from measured is not measured. That's what we're saying. How did you measure it, Bob? Where's the measurement?
Yeah. I can guarantee you didn't measure it with anything. And if he did, he input the data of things into a WGS84 or something like that. Transposed it onto the computer. The minute you do that, we know there's fakery going on.
But anyway, he's trying to get us off of this numpty clip.
Yeah,
he is.
He's wasting all his time in chat. He could have been in here like 15, 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
He's squandering his time to be on here, guys.
Yeah,
it's right.
I mean, he's been in
right
chat
on
all
his channel.
night. He's been in chat all night, so he could have easily come and said his piece by now.
Long ago.
You got a super chat, Flash.
Variable on the dependent variable. The prediction is.
Thank you very much. £5 from Tony. Thank you very much. He says Bobby's saying that the radius is 7.918.
The radius of what?
2 inches of drop over half a mile. Bob, that's what we're saying. Show us this measurement of 2 inches of drop over a half a mile, please. Go ahead. Come present.
Don't you have to have a reference for your drop to begin with? Over that, like a horizontal?
A horizontal, yep.
Yeah, they use bend horizontal, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Now you remind me more, Bev.
And I'm also going to let you guys know, slope angles are not curves.
No, slope angles are still straight lines, dude.
Yeah.
Still a straight line. Just a gradient on it.
And don't use tides for your hump in the water. That ain't going to work.
Of the expected results of the experiment based on the hypothesis. From California State University, formalized hypotheses contain 2 variables. One is the independent and the other is the dependent. Not looking good for you right now, Bob. Experiment from Penn State University. There should be 3 categories of variables in every experiment.
Listen.
Dependent, independent, controlled. From Physics About Anne-Marie Helmestein, PhD, Biomedical Sciences. When you design an experiment, you are controlling and measuring variables. There are 3 types of variables: independent, dependent,
and
controlled.
And this is what I tried to point out to Critical Think. When I said, well, you weren't having any control variables. You didn't do anything with control variables.
And we know that there are 3 or 4 factors that directly relate to the correlation that you guys call weight. We know that there's 3 or 4 factors like temperature, pressure, humidity. These are all factors that he didn't contain or control in any way. And we know that they were varied, and he ignores them because according to him, he says that the results or the effects are negligible. Well, if that's the case, then how do you know that? Because you haven't measured them to be able to state that.
In order to get proper weight, you have to have the right amount of tension on the scale itself. The tension springs, they have to be set, calibrated properly.
Yeah, but not just that. That's the thing. He hasn't controlled any variable, so he's not sure what actually changed the weight. That's the whole point of this. There's no
probably
showing.
Different air pressures, heat, temperature. Yeah, that would actually change the weight. He should have that as a control.
His argument was, "Well, I got the results I wanted, so why do I need to worry?"
Yeah, that works.
So, in other words, I rigged the game, guys. Okay.
Yep.
Well, don't you find that dishonest? No, I don't, because I got the results I wanted.
It's actually an example of the Texas sharpshooter fallacy, because what he's doing is he's saying, well, because everything went the way that I expected it to go, then it couldn't have had much of an effect. Well, that's basically where you get the dartboard. You throw all your darts against the wall, then you put your dartboard over it. It looks like your darts have gone exactly where you wanted it because that's what you needed it to do. Texas sharpshooter fallacy, making the result fit the experiment rather than making the experiment fit the results.
Good analogy. I got a better one though. It's more like the butcher putting his thumb on the scale and charging you 5 cents more for it. Like, okay. It's crooked, dude.
Or it's like the butcher pretending that he's used scales and not actually used scales and said, I'm giving you a kilogram of beef here, and he's guessed it.
Yeah, there you go.
From my tutor, GCSE chemistry, what are the 3 main variables within a scientific experiment? Independent, dependent, control. From the Institute of Physics, when planning an investigation, students need to identify the variables that they consider significant and then select the ones they want to look at for cause and effect. If possible, any other variables that will affect the outcome of the experiment need to be kept constant during the investigation.
That was the key that critical think had to listen to. Let me just go back 10 seconds. Listen again, critical think.
Students need to identify the variables that they consider significant and then select the ones they want to look at for cause and effect. If possible, any other variables that will affect the outcome of the experiment need to be kept constant during the investigation. The independent, dependent, and control. From the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. In an experiment, the independent variable is a variable that is varied or manipulated by the researcher, and the dependent variable is the response that is measured. An independent variable is the presumed cause, whereas the dependent variable is the presumed effect. The IV is the antecedent, whereas the DV is the consequent. From the Office of Research Integrity, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, therefore, in experiments, a researcher manipulates an independent variable to determine if it causes a change in the dependent variable.
Jimmy is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes
Bobber.
Down goes
Bobber. My word, sir. You see, I can somewhat understand this belly laugher coming from your average rank-and-file globe-tard goober. But you're a self-purported bone doctor. More like bumbling bonehead.
Yeah, that's also something I don't get. Bob was a pharmaceutical. Wasn't he a pharmacist or something?
I guess.
Yeah, I think John's taking the piss when he says bone doctor because he had that sexual allegations claim against him, didn't he? Bone being he's using bone in a different context.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, because he was a doctor, you could say, a pharmacist, he should know what an independent and dependent variable is.
Well, I think somebody told QE that he was a bone doctor. I don't think he was making a reference to that, but he's known for an advocate for THC. And
the House Senate where he lives, and he got a lot of flack for it.
Was he standing up for something he believed in, or was he on a bribe?
I think he's wanting to treat patients with the medical marijuana, and I think that's what he advocated for.
But was it a bribe, or was he actually arguing it genuinely? Because like that's credible if he was. If he not that on a bribe.
No, he was. I think he was being legitimate. He stood up before the House and he made a speech. I think advocating for what he believed in, and I'm proud of him for that myself. But
yeah, me too.
That's the point.
That's actually credible. It's probably the most credible thing that I've ever heard him actually be responsible for.
Right now, I think he's advocating for grade school kids to learn about the solar system and pseudoscience. That's his problem. He's got a mental disease.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did build his own telescope out of PVC and plastic. So,
did you say that he was advocating for THC, or I thought I misheard you? Did you say THC?
Yeah, I'm an advocate for THC myself.
Yeah, me too. I've seen it firsthand with our Mickey.
In fact, I'm about ready to have some here.
Me too.
I'm talking about the medical use of it, though.
Well, me too.
We're not allowed to really talk about medical stuff on there.
No.
Oh yeah.
I use it and respect. I feel really good after. It's a good pick me up.
Yeah, it's medicine, right?
There you go. Puts me in that high vibrative state. That's where you want to be.
I'm fighting for any type of drug. If people want to use opioids, they should be free. If they want to kill themselves, they can. So
wait, we can't talk about this stuff on here. I'm telling you.
Okay, sorry.
Guys, really, please.
Okay, sorry about that.
I don't want to lose my channel just because people need to say stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that.
This is exponential magnitude beyond numpty dictionary.
You need to give the disclaimer at this point and say that just because the views of one person do not reflect the views of this channel, otherwise you might actually get in trouble.
Yeah, just to let know, the views of people don't reflect actually what this channel stands for. And no, we are not saying any medical advice to anyone. Thank you.
Exactly.
Nope.
The viewpoints of the panelists do not reflect the opinions of the host.
Look, if people would like to unalive themselves, so we should ban all the tall buildings. We should ban cars. We should ban everything, so people wouldn't be able to do it. That's what they think. That's to protect us. No, life is not safe. So if people choose to do bad things to themselves, we can't stop them.
Well, was ended there. That's a good one. Nice note. Is that with all the nupty clip, Les?
Yeah, we didn't need to listen to the end. We got the point. Bob doesn't know science.
Of course.
Bob's
Clueless.
Not a science guy. Bob.
Bob, come on. You got literally 8 minutes before we end the show, man. You got 8 minutes. Come on. It's your last chance.
Come on, Bob.
Come on, Bobby boy. Come on, Bob.
He's trying to set the ground rules for this so he can fudge the numbers. That's what he wants to do.
Do it, Bob. Do it.
Come on, Bob.
Come on, Bob.
You see, the thing is, he goes, Flatzoid's a coward. He didn't have a show specifically dedicated to me on Friday. No, I've given you the chance today to come. I don't need to hop to your nonsense childish games.
Oh, good God. Yep. Bob.
So since Bob's too much of a coward to come on, he can then make a video showing us these measurements.
It's still banging on about experiment, man. The guy's
he's an idiot.
Stop using words you don't understand, Bob.
What, like Friday?
Next Friday, I got a different guest on. So sorry, Bob.
Yep. We got other people coming.
Yeah, like I said, it's today. He can come on today. I don't care about next Friday. I will not jump on anything for him.
What's going to change between now and next Friday, though? That's my question.
He's going to go now, and he's going to sit with his panel of idiots, and they're going to try and decide a course of action on how to attribute this new script to what had to be said.
How to fake the measurement of curvature. There'll be a green screen involved, I can guarantee it.
It will be
Now, how do we
huge
get this in
brainstorm,
there?
but it will come with nothing.
There's a storm
No
of brewing.
stress, Jeff. Thanks for coming, man. Okay, so what's your guys' closing statements? And do you have a show coming up, or and then just shout out whatever?
Well, yeah, Bob can go. Wait, you can wait, so to speak. So it's not just say that you can wait, go and do that experiment because, yeah, I know.
You just commented you don't have an observation yet, so why are you asking us for an experiment?
Yeah, he said that was directed at me, and I'm like, I got to come up with shit. I suggested to Duffy an experiment he could possibly do, or that isn't that hold the line would be one. It's only he's got all these wealthy benefactors that want to chip in all this money and shit. So,
but that's the thing, though. They claiming for the curve. They claiming there's measurement.
Yeah. I don't have to.
That's
prove
their observation. It's not ours.
Exactly.
What do we have to give an observation for their claim?
I don't think Bob understands the effect of a logical fallacy application. When we say that you've reversed the burden of proof, Bob, that doesn't mean you can ignore it and carry on reversing the burden of proof. It means that the point you just made has been squashed. It's dead, gone.
Yeah, without providing any evidence of your claim to begin with, and you turn around and ask me to provide evidence for something I didn't claim, that's called a burden of reversal fallacy, Bob. Anybody in any debates or any college forums will tell you this right up front. This is the way it's gauged. The burden of proof falls on your claim. End of the story. I got nothing else to say.
Absolutely. And yes, I've got a stream later. I'm doing 500 sub special later. I just got to do a few, like, whatever people want to do for an hour or so on YouTube, just whatever. If they want to come and put links or whatever. And then we're watching Dogma later on. Just for the 500. I wasn't going to, because I went on earlier. I was going to leave it till tomorrow, but I thought, yeah, I might as well tonight. Because I've got like 506, so I don't think I'm going to go under 500. I wanted to be sure, you know what I mean, that it was over 500 and it'll stay there. But I think with 506, okay. So yeah, should be on a couple
Well
of hours.
done, man. Congratulations.
Bob's making a claim in chat right now. He's 2 inches over a half mile is what he measured. What is measured? Oh, okay, he's not making a claim. He's saying what is measured. Never mind. I thought he was making a claim again.
Well, that's not consistent with the radius value given. So something's wrong.
Yep. Black Swan, Bob, much? No.
Bob,
Okay.
Not much. Obviously, not much.
If millions of people agree on something, it does not mean it's the truth. The truth is always the truth, even if only one person says it. So there is no status quo. It's sphere. Status quo means nothing.
Yeah. Truth is truth, even in a minority of one.
Who made that video I played yesterday? Or the one the day before, the one that you took over to your channel, Sav? I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know.
How many status quos there were in the history, and they were changed? So status quo, it's BS argument.
Yeah.
See if I can find it.
Yeah, send it to Bob.
Bob, please, for once, just think outside of the box, all right? Just think before you say this kind of shit.
They go over the globe and flat Earth measurements, and guess who came out on top? They didn't just calculate it. The only calculation that was put in there was refraction on your behalf. Yeah. Because you guys claim refraction.
Bob, do you really want a math? I can provide you math. And try to disprove it. I provide for you. Earth curvature calculator. Do your own observation. And the best way would be in the nice clear day. Put someone on the boat. Stay on the shore. Let's say your eyesight will be on 1.8 meters. Send someone 20 kilometers to the water. Get good lenses. But of course, it has to be good weather, because it will affect what you can see. It's nice, clear day, and tell me you didn't see this person. According to math, pure math, calculations, which you like so much, this object should be 18 meters behind the curve. So then tell me you didn't see him, all right? I can provide you for your calculator. I'll drop it soon.
Yeah, I think Bob should make a video trying to dismantle Heath Comedy's latest video. The link Sov just put in chat. I think that'll be interesting.
Educating Simon.
So I'm just going to say
Yeah,
thanks,
making
guys, all for coming. I got to unfortunately go. I'll see you all tomorrow. Make sure to catch PJ for his 500 sub special. Woo!
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations,
And Bob,
man.
Congrats.
can I say one more thing to him? Bob, go to Pablo's dog. He does pans daily, 360-degree pans, and he gets observations all the time. And go through it and crunch the numbers and see what you find. That's all. And I gave him the video in chat. So.
Oh, I'm glad he says I've got. Look, guys, he says I have gone through curve calculations, so not measurements. Then, well done.
By the way, Bob, curve calculations are begging the question. It's another fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's based on our eyesight and perspective. That's all they try to hijack with that. It's not actual physical measurements.
And when you look on diagram for curve calculators, it has horizontal. It has surface level that are not to do with Earth. Your horizon and your curve are under surface level in that diagram on Earth curve calculator.
Yep. Okay, so the poll ended on will Globers ever understand what science is? No, 49%. Yes, 25%. Maybe one day, 25%.
No, I think they will understand someday and then become Globers. That's what happened with us. So yeah, some of them, they will understand math and the reality.
Bob's just in here advertising his
He
channel.
thinks he knows what fallacies are. He says, I love your claims fallacy. What is fallacy? Fallacies. You heard that from TFE. Now he thinks it's an actual fallacy.
That's a false dichotomy. It's not a fallacy.
You heard that from Fight the Flat Earth, and ever since then, other Globers think that's an actual fallacy. Oh my word.
Fallacy.
Does he understand fallacious reasoning, basing your reasoning on a falsehood, dude? That's what a fallacy is.
I'm sorry. I'm going to stick to this. Anti-flat earthers are the dumbest shit on the earth.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't have the capacity for thought at all.
Fallacy.
Okay.
Oh, that's not right, PJ. Come on. Come some slack.
Guys,
the fallacy. You had people who say they got bigger willies than what they've actually got.
Yeah. Well, ask Jared about that. He likes to have measuring contests when it comes to the.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking myself. When I said it, that's exactly what I thought.
And I just got to point out to Bob, yes, the fact you cry fallacy already shows that your fallacious argument is based on false reasoning. Anyway, thanks all for coming. I appreciate you all coming. I'll see you all tomorrow night. Many, many blessings, and may the praise be with you. Cheerio.
Later, guys. Bye, Bob.
Why is it not playing? Play.
Yeah, it's playing.
Yeah, this song really works. I uploaded it on my channel. I'm going to link to it.